Hey guys, today I'm going to be going through the best dungeon setup for every floor, including Master Mode. All the other guides that I've seen are either outdated or are for only a few specific floors, so today I'm going to be making the ultimate dungeon setup guide. If this video helps you out, maybe drop a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you, and into the guide we go. Also, this is just a quick FYI, this video is going to be in two parts. Part 1 is going to be your setup, and Part 2 is going to be current metas, good party combinations, and things like that. Anyway, here's the guide. Alright, so we're starting things off with the entrance floor, and to be honest, this is going to be quite easy. All you're going to need is a decent set of dragon armor and an aspect of the dragons. The best dragon armor set you're going to want to be using is superior armor, although you most likely won't have that. Some other options are strong armor, or if that's too expensive, then unstable, young, or even protector armor should do the job just fine. If you for some reason want to be a mage, then wise armor works, although you don't really have a weapon right now besides a dreadlord sword. If you want to be healer, then holy armor should do the job. This is just the entrance floor, so it should be quite easy for you to do. Make sure you stick together with your party, so you can help each other out if the mini-bosses are too strong for you to take on by yourself. Use these easy runs to begin learning about secrets, which will definitely help you out in the long run. While they won't help out right now, it's going to be a key factor later on in your dungeon experience. Now, for floor 1, there still aren't many options. If you're using a lower tier of dragon armor, then switching to rotten armor might be a good idea. If you want to be a mage, you can actually be useful now. Floor 1 grants you the use of the Bonzo Staff, which is a fairly cheap mage weapon that should kill everything easily in your path. All other classes' weapons and armor sets stay the same, except if you die a lot. If you find yourself dying too much for your liking, you could buy a Bonzo Mask, which will prevent you from death once every 4 to 5 minutes, which is pretty useful. Make sure you keep the same tactics as the entrance floor, and you should be able to do this floor pretty easily. Floor 2 is where things start to ramp up in difficulty. The mobs become harder, but that isn't the real problem. This boss fight is much more difficult than Bonzo, and will require coordination with your team, and good gear to be able to beat it. A Bonzo Mask is almost certainly needed for this fight, and you will definitely want a tank and a healer on your team. If you are either of those two classes, you will want to buy yourself either a stone chestplate for tanks, or a mender helmet for healers. Both of these items will help you out a lot throughout the entire dungeon, and are a must-have. For mages, what you want to do is get your hands on some dark goggles, which will boost your damage by 25%, as well as give you a decent chunk of mana. For berserkers, stick to your aspect of the dragons, although you can now use a super cleaver for clearing rooms if you want. Archers, you aren't really useful right now, but grab yourself an undead bow, and you should help somewhat. You should start using pets for this floor as well, although they aren't necessary, and it will help out a decent amount. For all classes except mage, you want to use either a griffin, a lion, or a tiger pet, and if you are a mage, then a sheep pet will be what you want. This is also the first floor where you definitely want to start starring your items. To star items, you have to use Wither and Undead Essence, which you should have been getting from your previous runs. You can check your essence by pressing Tab in the Dungeon Hub. You put your items into this menu and click the anvil. You can do this up to 5 times. Starring your items boosts their usefulness in dungeons by an incredible amount and is 100% necessary for beating this floor. Now, for floor 3, there isn't much of a difficulty jump. It's honestly a pretty easy floor, and the only somewhat hard thing to do is killing all 4 guardians at the same time. However, this can be easily overcome with decent communication. This floor can be beaten with the previous floor's gear, however, you can upgrade the zombie soldier armor if you have the kata level. When you beat the floor once, you can unlock the adaptive armor and the adaptive blade. For healer, tank, and berserker, you definitely want to switch to the adaptive blade. And if you are a berserker, archer, tank, or mage, then full adaptive armor is what you're going to want. For healers, you can use 3/4 adaptive armor with a mender helmet. Honestly, don't worry too much about this floor, and just focus on grinding kata levels and getting some money. Floor 4 is the beginning of what I call the upgrade phase, in where you will be getting new gear and weapons in a short amount of time. However, this also comes at a cost. Floor 4's difficulty is dramatically increased from Floor 3's, and will require a good party, good gear, and good kata level in order to beat. For berserkers, tanks, and healers, You don't need new armor, but you will need new weapons. At this point, you should have gotten Catus 16, so you should be able to use the Hypercleaver. You can use this weapon to clear large groups of mobs and is a decent weapon for the boss room. However, the weapon you really want to be going for is a Flower of Truth. While it's only a shadow of what it used to be, it's still a decent weapon, especially for the boss room. Now, for Mage, you want to get your hands on a Spirit Scepter. This weapon, although pricey, will absolutely shred through the boss room, and you will definitely want it in your runs. Now, for archers, you can finally be useful. After your first floor 4 completion, you can use Bone Meringues. Bone Meringues, like the Flower of Truth, are much worse than they used to be, but it's still a decent weapon and can be used to deadly effect in the boss room. To beat this floor, you will want a diverse team of a tank, healer, mage, and 2 berserkers, although you can use 2 mages instead. This floor will not be easy, so don't expect to beat this on your first go. Make sure you have a decent kata level before trying to beat this floor, and starring your armor and gear is 100% needed. Well guys, that's going to be it for part 1 of the Ultimate Dungeon Setup Guide. If you want to make sure you don't miss part 2, hit that subscribe button, and while you're down there, maybe like the video too. Part 2 should be coming out in around a week, so make sure you don't miss that. Anyways, that's it for now, so this is Phantom, signing off. See ya!